Hi there. We're glad you could join us today. I'm Michelle.
I'm Jim, and we are
A Teague of Your Own. Welcome to another Motivational Monday.
Let's get motivated.
Woohoo! All right. It's a good week.
It is a good week. So
Yes.
what are we going to be talking about today?
We are talking about this. Ooh. One of John Maxwell's books. Everyone communicates, few connect.
Why would anybody want to read that? What is the importance of communicating and connecting? What's the difference between communicating and connecting?
Well, as the book suggests, everyone communicates, meaning you can get a message across. However, what's more important is that you actually connect with the person.
What's the difference between communicating and connecting?
Connecting is you're focusing more on the relationship. You're actually going at a deeper level. You want to have a better understanding of the person themselves. And the cool thing about the connecting part is if you're a leader, one of the things that John tells us when it comes to leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less.
Yes.
And the easiest way to build up influence is to connect with somebody.
Okay.
So if you are in some type of leadership role, or if you are specifically in a sales role where you are trying to influence people, you are going to want to connect with them.
So what are some of the problems that people might encounter if they're busy communicating, but they're doing a very poor job of connecting? Why is this important?
Because for the most part, people, like I said, if you're a leader, you want to be able to influence people and motivate them and get them to do things that they may not necessarily want to do on their own. By connecting with them on a personal level, you're going to have more influence and be able to motivate them easier.
So what are some of the things that people can do to connect as opposed to just communicate?
Oh, man. Listening is one of the first things that comes to mind.
Listening is a big one.
Yeah.
That's maybe the most important, don't you think?
I would think so. When it comes to listening, it shows that you really value the person who you are communicating with. It shows that you really want to better understand them and their message. So listening is one of the best things that you can do to connect.
So what is the problem with listening that most people have? Because I think a lot of people have that problem.
Yeah, when it comes to listening, there's a lot of people out there that just listen to respond. They don't necessarily listen to understand the message and to understand the information that the person's trying to communicate to.
So in other words, while somebody is talking to them, they're busy formulating their response, and they haven't even finished listening to what the other person is saying.
Correct.
I think that might be a problem.
You think?
Just a little. And why do people do that?
Because they want to be able to get their point in. A lot of times they just don't take the time to develop listening skills. Active listening is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
And people don't always want to put in that work.
You are correct.
People want to take the easy way out. And so when it comes to actually listening and paying attention, there's a lot of effort that goes into it.
So what can people do to improve their active listening skills?
Practice.
And how do you do that? So what do you do? What are some techniques or tips or tricks? How can we help them become better listeners?
Well, one of the
How
first
can we help
things
you become a better listener?
One of the first things I would say is literally ask somebody an open-ended question.
Okay.
And then pay attention to the answer itself. Go out, ask somebody, hey, tell me what are you up to? What's going on in your life? How was your day? What have you been doing? And let them go on and listen to what it is that they have to say. With somebody like you, it's very easy because all I have to do with you is ask you an open-ended question and off you go.
That is correct.
Now, there are other people out there that aren't quite as forthcoming
verbose.
Yes, in their information. For them, maybe you need to ask a few more questions.
Yes.
And dig a little bit deeper, but doing that with the intention of wanting to listen and pay attention to what they're saying.
Yes. Now, one of the reasons that people often formulate a response and then respond immediately is because there is this tendency in our culture when somebody pauses after something has been said that they will want to jump in and fill that void. Americans, as a rule, don't like air in the conversation.
Correct.
So my question would be, you're trying to be a more active listener. You're trying to develop your responses after the other person has finished completing their thought. They have it all out there. But you fear that if you pause, so you take that thoughtful pause, that they're going to start again. They won't give you time to respond. What techniques can you use to make sure that you don't have that air in the conversation, but you still have time to formulate your response in a thoughtful manner?
You could ask them a question.
You could ask another question.
So that way you could ask them, tell me more, or
that's one way to do it.
What else are you wanting to add to that?
That's one way to do it. Now, what if you actually have formulated a thought, or you're in the process of formulating your thought, and you don't want them to continue? Because by asking the question, you're inviting them to continue.
Correct.
And provide more. Well, are there some techniques that you could use? Like, for instance, saying, I see, or that's interesting, giving that pause that way. So it's an actual verbal pause. Is that a way you could handle it?
You could. You could also, as far as visually, you're wanting to nod your head. Sometimes you're wanting to say, yes, and lean forward because you're interested in the conversation itself. Yes.
Okay. So giving some cues that you are going to have a response. So you want the other person to wait a moment so you can finish formulating your response and then articulate that.
If they're not finished with their conversation, though, because the reality is they could answer or come up with the exact same thing that you're about to say.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. That always happens. And so you do have to figure out these things if you're going to be engaged in that active listening, is how you can make sure that, again, you're not leaving too much air in the conversation and the other person starts again. Because there are some people that if you give them that opportunity, or they think that they're not sure that you have a response, they'll jump right in and continue talking.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but it's a habit that many people have. So sometimes it can make it difficult to go from a discussion, go from a monologue to a discussion. That's the problem that you have there.
But if you're practicing listening, it's okay for it to be a monologue.
That's true. Because quite often it's amazing what'll happen if you're at a party or an outing and you meet someone, and with the entire conversation, you're asking questions and getting them to talk. Because the one thing that people really love to talk about, most people really like to talk about themselves. I've had this happen, and I am on the personality scale DISC. I'm an I, so I like to talk. But I have found that sometimes when I get with a fellow talker, that for their purposes, it's a better conversation if I just let them talk. It's difficult.
For you, it is, yes. It's very difficult for you.
I really have to practice a lot of self-control. And that's another part of this process is exercising that self-control, learning how to be strategic in when you are involved in the conversation. And in some cases, when you've got someone that they really just want to talk, let them talk. And I know that with some of those conversations, I might have said 20 words in a half an hour, and all of it was questions. all I was doing was asking a question and then a follow-up question or a question to another topic and just let them talk. And I know that they walked away from that conversation thinking that I was a spectacular conversationalist when I said next to nothing. All I did was ask questions.
One of the things that happens when you pay attention and you listen to people is they think you make them feel special.
Yes, that's what happens.
They think you are just the best person in the world because you paid attention to them.
Right.
And that's probably one of the best gifts you can ever give somebody.
Yeah.
Is the gift of your time
Mm-hmm.
and the gift of your attention. So you're actually present for the conversation, because that doesn't always happen for everybody with every single conversation.
Yes.
So that is one of the best gifts you can ever give to somebody.
Now, another key point to connecting is when somebody is giving you all of that information about themselves,
Mhm.
make sure you remember it.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than somebody told you all of these details about themselves and you get into another conversation later and the conversation moves to things that you've discussed before and you don't remember the details. How does that make them feel?
That you didn't pay attention
That
to
you
them.
did not pay attention. And so one of the tricks that you could use is when you have a conversation with somebody like that, keep something on you somewhere where you can write, have a pen and a notepad or something. And maybe later on, write down their name and some of those details.
If you're at some type of meeting or event, networking event especially,
Mm-hmm.
usually people have their business card on
Yes.
them. So that way you can grab one of their business cards and you can jot a couple of notes on there.
Because quite often, backside of the business card is going to be blank.
Mm-hmm.
That's less and less the case now. I know with our business card, we have
our QR code
we have
on
our
there.
QR code on there, so you can go straight to our website, which is really cool. But a lot of cards, they have that white space on the back, and that's where you can jot down notes and details and keep those handy. Because when you are able
Mm-hmm.
to interact with that person again, and you have those details, and you bring those up, they're going to be wildly impressed.
Yeah.
And now you have truly made that connection.
Yeah.
You have made a real friend.
Yes, you have.
And that's the way you do it and so what that also means is not only should you listen, but that means you really, really have to be interested in other people.
That can be hard to do.
Yeah, because some people just aren't that interesting. I hate to say it. True. Some of them aren't. But still, you need to have that interest or that desire to want to get to know people mm-hmm. and to really make that connection.
Mm-hmm. Well, and part of it is if you're trying to do business with somebody, mm-hmm. people will do business with you if they know, like, and trust you.
Yes.
And the way that they're going to know, like, and trust you is for you to build up that influence. And the way that you do that is through connections. So when we talk about this book, the Everybody Communicates, Few Connect by John Maxwell, it really is talking about how to connect with those people around you, whether it's on a personal level, mm-hmm. whether it's on a professional level, whether it's somebody that you do business with, whether it's a family member or a friend. You're going to want to connect with them on a deeper level. And this particular book is chock full of information on how to do that.
Yes.
Now, why are we talking about this today?
I am so glad you asked. We are, if you got something out of what we've just talked about, and I'm sure you did, and you want to know more, you are in luck.
Yes, you are.
Yes, lucky day. In about an hour, mm-hmm. we are going to go live with a webinar on this very topic. Mm-hmm. By attending that webinar, and it's free. Yep. It's free. All you got to do is go sign up and join in.
Yep.
We will go into more detail. We will dive further into this topic, and you will gain some more insights on why you need to connect with others and how you can make those connections.
Yes.
And complimentary, totally free. Mm-hmm. Please join us. We'll be happy to have you there.
Yeah. If you need more information about registering for that, you can find it either on Facebook, mm-hmm. you could find it on LinkedIn, or you can go to our website. What is our website?
ATigueofYourOwn.com.
Very good. ATigueofYourOwn.com. If you click on the events tab, not only this webinar, but oh my goodness, all the other webinars that we have for the rest of the year are there. So register for them now. That way you won't forget.
Also, if you enjoy these Motivational Mondays, click like.
Yes.
Because that will get us out there to more people so we can help more folks. They can see what we do and we can figure out all of the myriad ways that we can be of service to them.
Yes.
So we'd appreciate your help with that.
Feel free to put in the comments what you like best.
Yes. Please comment too. And then send comments to us.
Yes.
We always like to interact with folks. We like to interact with you.
Yes.
And let us know what we're doing right. Let us know what we can do better. And let us know if there's any topics that you would like for us to discuss.
Yes. Because believe me, it's fun trying to come up with topics sometimes.
Yes, it is. And trying to make sure that we're talking about things that will serve you.
Yes. So keep that in mind. All right. I think that's it.
I believe so.
Good deal. All right. So keep in mind, if you want to connect with somebody, one of the easiest ways you can do that is to listen.
Listen.
So awesome. Somebody likes us.
Hey, nice. Very good.
Thank
you.
All right. That's it for this week. We will see you again. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have an excellent week. Let us know what we can do for you.
And don't forget our webinar in 1 hour. Join us.
Yep.
Be there, be square.
Everyone communicates if you connect.
All right.
All right, everybody. Bye.
Bye.